Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Welcome to What's Up Vlog 163. I'm outside. Impromptu one today. It's Bank Holiday Monday. The sun is blisteringly hot, the skies are blue, and I had a cancelled meeting, which was just, come on. My day was supposed to be preparing for and having quite an important meeting, but luckily my client extended his holiday and is not going to be back until later on in the week, so my meeting was cancelled. I have a free day, so free day means get outside on your bike day. That sun, I mean, look at the glare. Right, I do have a bit of a plan for today's ride. I'm just going to go over here, see if I can see this view. I stopped in this place because this used to be a really amazing lookout point, but it's now a fence with barbed wire. Now, I don't know if you can see beyond that with this camera. I'll do my best to show you, but yeah, it used to be just stunning views across Surrey. Yeah, so there's a structure and a plan for today's ride. I've got a book of the best cycling rides, best climbs in the southeast, by the same author that did the 100 greatest climbs and 100 greatest Tour de France climbs and that whole series. And it occurred to me, I've only actually ticked off a couple of them, mainly the ones that everybody seems to have ticked off: Box Hill, Leith Hill, White Down Lane. I did manage to tick off another one on a ride with Sean Lowe a couple of months back now. Is it Hollingbourne? I think it's called Hollingbourne. So I've managed to, this year, that is the only one of those rides I've done. So I've got a time written in the back of the book for that climb. Now I want to try and do as many of them from the book in 2018 as I can. There are 4 that I can potentially tick off today, or well, 3 that are definitely in the book, one that I'm not sure is, but and they're all quite close to me, so it's actually not a particularly long ride. I can tick 4 of these climbs off in about 35 kilometers, according to Komoot, which is the app that I've used. So the first one is going to be Chalkpit Lane, which was actually requested by one of the subscribers and viewers to the vlog. So this is for you. It's been on my list anyway for some time, but you were the one that gave me the impetus to actually get out and do it. So Chalkpit Lane, it's apparently pretty nasty. I'm not going to kid myself. It's I've driven up it. Do you know what? I was quite cruel. I was taking my eldest son for driving lessons when he first got his provisional license, and I took him up there in his car, and he panicked so much in first gear, revving the nuts off it on these sort of hairpins, and he had a really hard time with it. So it's not much fun in a car. So on a bike, I'm expecting some pain. From there, from the top of there, I've got a loop that then goes kind of off towards, where would it go? Sort of Wallingham-ish way, and loops around to a hill which I think is called White Lane, but I've always known it as Titsey Hill. And it's not just me being silly with nicknames, everybody knows it as Titsey Hill. So that's the next one to conquer. That again is a pretty steady climb of around, I'm not sure what the average is, but I know most of it's between sort of 12, 13, maybe up to sort of 15, 16%. So there's that one. And then I'm going to loop from there, come back kind of towards home. Sorry, let this motorbike go past. And head off to... oh, I can't even remember. Anyway, another one. But there's also another road called Wray Lane, which I can't remember if it's in the book or not. But my local bike shop-ish called Maison de Velo, this amazing little sort of cycling cafe boutique. It's just a stunning little place. They have a leaderboard in their cafe for Wray Lane reps, basically, and I've always wondered where it was, and I've just found out, and that is very easily accessible from where I am as well. I think it's quite short but incredibly punchy, so that is where I'm heading. In between Titsey Hill and Wray Lane, there's a road that I do quite a lot, which is again is a very short but really punchy little climb, horrible gravelly kind of surface, called Enterdent Road. I got a PB on it on my last go. I'm not expecting that today because I'm very much going to be steadily pacing myself just to experience these. I'm not going for times. so I'll hit that one as well. So then after Wray Lane, I'm actually not far then from seeing how I feel, heading off towards to try and tick off Box Hill for 2018, possibly Leith Hill. I'm not going to do White Down today because that's just horrendously horrible. But I'll just see how it goes. But I'm planning on a good few hours out and basically hill hunting. I've cleaned her up beautifully, by the way. Typically, all around France, tick, 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 rattle, rattle, rattle in a couple of the gears. But the micro adjustment didn't seem to be working. So since coming back, given her a very thorough clean anyway. I say her, I definitely christened it a him. Let's squat down so you can see. Gave him a very thorough clean anyway, so you can see all the drivetrain and everything's looking pretty schwanky. But I was looking up whether I was doing the correct procedure for doing the micro adjustment, and it turns out there's a kind of problem with the micro adjustment whereby the function can just stop working. And the way to, through YouTube I discovered this, the way to resolve it is to unpair your levers from the derailleurs, pair them back up again, and boom, everything's fine. And that proved to be the case. My micro adjustment just wasn't making the adjustment, so I'm clicking it loads of times thinking surely I don't need to be adjusting it this much with it, and it's still not been making any difference. But yeah, turns out it wasn't doing it at all. So there we go. If you have a problem with your micro adjustment on SRAM ETAP, unpair your levers, pair them back up again, and then the little micro adjustment will work fine. Yeah, so all clean. Recalibrated the rotor power meter before we came out. I just stung myself on a stinging nettle. Oh, you. Right, yeah, there, just fell on that bloody thing. So yeah, recalibrated the power meter. Got plenty of electrolytes, some nice cold water, lovely clean cassette and derailleurs. What else have I done? Yeah, just cleaned her up. My fingers now are throbbing. That is bloody annoying. Where's a dock leaf? That's what you're meant to do, isn't it? There should always be dock leaves near where stinging nettles are, but no. No. I always thought they grew. If there were stinging nettles, there were dock leaves, and you rub the dock leaves on the sting and it heals it. Right, I'm going to go and try and find some. Oh, one other thing before I go. We noticed this actually on the way, right after we finished our last ride in France, that one of my cleats, I'm going to try and show you. Oh look, they're all covered in crap now, but basically the hook on the end of the cleat, on the front of the cleat there, has gone. So my left foot isn't hooking in at the front, it's clipping in and actually feels relatively stable. So there must be some pressure on the front, and that's being sort of held there by the fact that it's clipped in at the back of the cleat. But new set of cleats needed. Right, I'm gonna try and heal my fingers, bloody hell, and jump on the bike, head for, I've forgotten where we're going now. What's the first hill? Chalkpit Lane. Off we go. Right, so turned on to the first of the challenges, first hill of the day, which is Chalkpit Lane, named for what I'm assuming are those huge chalk pits up ahead I can see. And we're going to the top of there. I don't think it's particularly long, but it's got some very nasty little ramps in it, so it'll be interesting to see. So the actual Strava segment has started now, just as we hit this, go under the bridge of the M25, and immediately I can see the way the road is pointing after this. So yeah, it's all up from now. It's bloody boiling. annoyingly, I just had to stop for a second because my sunglasses fell off. And if they'd been cheap, nasty ones, I'd have just left them. But these are my prescription ones, which cost quite a few quid. So no chance I was leaving those on the floor. This is getting nasty now, very nasty. Oh, there we go. Chalkpit lane done. Now it should be relatively flat for a little while until the next climb, which is Titsey Hill. Man, that was tough. In this heat, straight off the bat. Like I say, my glasses fell off, so starting again was really hard. I had to basically go sideways across the road to get enough balance and momentum to be able to clip in. It happened on a pretty steep section of the hill. But yeah, hopefully now I've got a little bit of time to catch my breath before the next one. I think I'm a couple of 100 metres away now from the turning for my next climb, which is Titsey Hill. Here's the junction. We head up towards Warningham. Right, here we go, Titsey Hill. Let's hope I didn't destroy my legs on the Chalkpit. So it's hovering around 14%. Looks like it's going to get even steeper in a minute. Whew. The road surface is lovely though. There we go, 15.7%. At least there's a bit of shade, which is very nice. It's funny, it drops down to 10% every now and again, and that feels like a lovely break for the legs. Like now. And then it will ramp up back up to 13, 14, 15% in a minute. I'm losing traction every now and again on leaves and twigs at the side of the road. And at the speed I'm going, that's not good because it brings me to an almost standstill when my back wheel spins up. Oh, 8% now, that feels like a descent, it's lovely. Oh, now we're down at 5.7% gradient, which feels like an absolute breeze. But if I remember right from the book, this one kind of lulls you into this sense of security before it starts smacking you back in the face. So I'm not going to get carried away on this this flatter section. I'm going to use it to recharge myself. Just hit a big log then, that really upset my rhythm. That's been the biggest challenge of this climb so far. It's like broken twigs and leaves and logs all over the side of the road, and the struggle is just keeping the back wheel on the ground when you're trying to navigate through them. I've only taken one wrong turn so far, which I'm proud to say, because I was on a pretty fast descent and the junction came up very quickly, so I overshot it by about 50 metres, but as I say, it was quite a fast descent, which meant that 50 metres had to be climbed back up the other way, which was a bit of a pain, but it wasn't too bad. Alright, we're kind of back towards where we started now, which is how this loop works. So that's 2 of the climbs done, and I feel alright, a bit of knee pain, so I'm wondering if I should, because I'm heading back that way anyway, go home, grab some ibuprofen, which I forgot to pack, and maybe try and ease the pain in my knees a little bit. Just reached the Enterdent. Is it called the Enterdent or Enterdent Road? But this is that kind of in-between climb I was telling you about. It's a nasty little thing, and where we had a pretty severe storm actually on Saturday night, and it's kicked up all kinds of grit and leaves and twigs and branches and things into the middle of most of these country roads, so making it even more difficult. Alright, I'm gonna have to put this camera down now because we're now pitching up to, what is this? This is about 11%, and it looks like it's gonna get worse. So, alright, head down, pedal spinning. So slowly up here that my element bolt keeps pausing. Just doesn't think I'm moving, and in actual fact I don't think it's got a very good GPS reception anyway, because it keeps telling me I'm on 0% gradient, and flashing up at what it actually is, which is 12.5% roughly at the moment. Oh. Luckily this is a short one. There are only another 300 metres to go to the top of this, but it is relatively savage. 12.9% now. I carried on, even though I've come back towards home, I didn't go home. I sort of carried on past it, so I haven't got any ibuprofen for my knee, but it actually has eased off quite a bit anyway. But my main reason for not going back, I thought about it, and Obi absolutely hates me riding. When he sees me get this bike down off the wall, he knows I'm going to be gone for a while. He cries and whimpers, and it would have been cruel for me to go back in for 5 minutes to take some tablets and then come back out again. So I'm carrying on. Alright, that's the end of that segment. Alright, so the Intendent is done. Managed to get back on the right track, I believe, to take me to Wray Lane. Wray Lane. I'm forgetting all the names. What I didn't take into account was Dale Hill, which was a proper little kick to the kneecaps just then. Got up to like 11% for a while, and yeah, that wasn't much fun. All right, hang on, junction coming, hang on. What is really interesting now is I know exactly where I am, and I know I could have got here a hell of a lot quicker and easier, but maybe that's Canute deliberately trying to make it tricky, tricky cycling routes for climbs, I don't know. Anyway, looks like I'm heading into another hill. I don't think this is Wray Lane, but I'll know when I get to the top, because it should be Reigate Hill viewpoint at the top of Wray Lane. Right, anyway, let's get climbing again. Okay, Wray Lane done. Treated myself to a nice banana, pineapple, coconut smoothie. So I like a virgin pina colada at the top of Wray Lane at Reigate Hill. I've decided against going up Box Hill. It's a shame because obviously I'm so close. It's only a handful of kilometres away, but yeah, gradients are really hurting my knee still, and I just don't want to aggravate it because it's been getting better. I think I've worked out a shortcut to get me back a little bit quicker, but what I've forgotten about is the road that I've just turned onto, which is an absolute bugger of a climb at the end. For the last few hundred metres, I'm not even sure what the gradient is, but I think it's one of the first climbs that ever got me getting off the bike and walking right at the top, so that could be entertaining. It's a rough old surface, and there's a bend that just hooks straight up. It's horrible. So I'm coming up to that now, so this might not be quicker, it might be shorter but not quicker. And I'm bumping about all over the place. This is just horrible rough road. It's disgusting. Alright, so it levels off a little bit here, just for a second, and then straight ahead I can see where it snakes up this horrible gradient. Wish me luck. nearly home, and I'm now on my favourite road in the entire world. It's this little closed quarry road that's just a couple of kilometres long, smooth, winding, a couple of little ups and downs. It's just beautiful. It's actually the venue for the first bit of filming I ever did on this bike. But anyway, I'm going to wrap the video up here while I just cycle this last couple of kilometres. So I've gone over 50 now. So yeah, thank you all for watching. I hope some of you recognise some of those roads, because I've spotted more and more of the video viewers and subscribers to the channel seem to be located in this neck of the woods. So I hope these are of interest to you and you recognise some of these roads. And if you have any other suggestions for me to try out nearby, then pop it in the comments below. Oh, I'm out of breath now. I'm on the, what am I on, 6.4%. Well, I didn't even know this road got to that. But talking to the camera, riding one-handed up 6.4%, it's definitely taken it out of me. So I'm going to shut up, and thank you once again for watching, and I'll catch you all on the next one.